Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Wolf out here for another nature walk, and I had some further thoughts on what it will take to help people get a better handle on their finances, work towards a future where they can get out of debt. I've provided many thoughts thus far about putting money away in savings, making sure that you avoid debt like the plague, and thinking about wants versus needs. But I don't know if I've ever really touched on one of the more simple premises that actually makes a lot more of a difference than people really give it credit for. And it has a lot to do with how much people actually write down what they purchase. And at first glance, a lot of people would look at that and think, why in the world should I have to write down what I'm buying? I mean, with modern technology as it is these days, people use debit cards for practically everything. It's all kept track of online. I can go to the bank website and look at a list of all the purchases I've made for the past year if I really wanted to. Click of the button. No problem. Why should I have to write down my purchases? How is that going to help? Well, for starters, I think a lot of people get into financial trouble because they don't think about it. Because they spend money and already have systems in place to where they don't really have to worry about it. If they want to take a look at it, they can, but why should they really have to? As long as they have a general sense for where they are, I mean, isn't that all that's needed? And I would really argue against that. My lady and I have been keeping concise track of every single purchase we make in physical registers, writing down every little line item for every little receipt that we ever receive. From food to gas to paying utilities, from the big things to the small things. Everything that comes in and out of our bank account, we write it down as soon as we make that purchase. And it teaches us a lot of really important things. First and foremost, as we are writing down those purchases and updating the totals ourselves, we know exactly where we stand at any given point. When I'm going out and buying some fast food for lunch, I can write down in the register, update the total, and I know, okay, we have this much left for this month until we get paid again on this day. Makes sense. And as I am constantly making purchases on a daily basis, I am constantly being reminded of exactly where we stand. It also trains my mind in learning to anticipate. Okay, I know that I have this bill and this bill and this bill coming up. It's much easier to know exactly where I'm going to stand 3 weeks from now because I've been able to train myself on exactly how much I expect to spend on a daily, a weekly, and even a monthly basis. Now, beyond that, when you are writing down your purchases every single day, big and small, you start to notice where your money's going. Because the fact that you are writing it down instead of going on a bank website every once in a great while and scrolling through the purchases in a matter of seconds, you are actually taking the time to write it down yourself. You have a much better sense on exactly where that money is going and why. And as you are making your purchases, you start to realize, you know, I've noticed that there is a lot more money going to fast food lately. Why is that? I've noticed that we're actually spending less in gas money. Why is that? I've noticed that our utilities are going up. Why is that? You start training your mind to notice patterns. And as you notice those patterns, you can start to feel much more clued in to why your money is going to where it's going. Now, as I've stated in previous videos, people can say all they want about what's most important to them, but when it comes to money, show me where they are spending their money, and I can tell you what's really most important to them. People can talk all they want about where their priorities lie, but where their money's actually going really says a lot about where their priorities lie. And as you can get a better sense on where your money's going on a daily basis, notice those patterns, you can start gaining better control over, you know, I have noticed that I've spent this much money on fast food this week. I wonder if I can lower it a little bit next week. Or, you know, I've noticed that we've spent this much on utilities last month. I wonder, can we change our habits a little bit to adjust that next month? Can we change the patterns? Can we take better care of where our money is going and why? As you are writing down every purchase you make, it's very simple to have those little register books. Banks give them out for free if you just ask for them. It just takes a little bit of discipline in order to pull out a pen every time you get a receipt and actually write it down as you are making that purchase. But I can guarantee you, if you can get yourself into that habit, you will absolutely take far better control over your finances, over your life, because you will build far better habits in the long run. It seems like such a simple step. It seems like such a inconsequential step, but it makes a difference. It really does. As you are starting to write down your little financial transactions, you start to realize, you know, since I started doing this, I'm noticing that there isn't as much going towards this thing or that thing like there used to every month, because I'm starting to think about these things more. I'm starting to notice those patterns. And you know what? Now that I'm not spending as much, I wonder, what could I be doing with that little extra that I'm saving away each month? And that works into one of the very first videos I talked on this subject. 10% of what you earn is yours to keep. Which, like I will always state, makes a tremendous difference in the long run. If you can gain that kind of discipline in your life, to realize that it's not so much about increasing your income, but rather about taking better care of how you spend what you earn. 9 times out of 10, that's what makes the long-term difference. I've always believed that to be the case. I've always trusted that to be the case. And when you get down to it, I'm an example of how it actually works. My lady and I are completely debt-free these days. We own our own home. We each have our own vehicle. We don't have any credit card debt to speak of. And we're still saving money away for a future. And even helping out others every now and again. I want to encourage other people to take on this kind of habit. And I hope this little discussion just piques the interest of even a few of you out there. Just a few. And it'll all be worth it. But what do you guys think? Until next time, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.